So now I want to consider mutually exclusive events. And so if we've got a 9-section spinner and we ask the question, what is the probability that a spinner lands on 5? Well, the probability of that is 1/9 because there is a 1 in 9, one favorable outcome and 9 possible outcomes. What is the probability that the spinner lands on 9? Well, again, probability of that will be 1/9 as well. So now if we ask the question, what is the probability that the spinner lands on 5 or 9? Well, in this case, we say that this is mutually exclusive since they cannot occur at the same time. You can't have the spinner land on both 5 and 9. It is either 5 or 9 that it lands on. So when events A and B are said to be mutually exclusive, the probability that A or B will occur is given by the addition rule for mutually exclusive events. And that's the probability of A or B occurring is equal to the probability of A plus the probability of B. So in this case, it's going to be 1/9 plus 1/9 or 2/9. So now we ask, what's the probability that a spinner lands on a yellow space or an odd number? Well, it could land on a 4, or it could land on 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. Now these can't occur at the same time because it can't land on a yellow space and an odd number because the yellow space contains a 4, which is even. So these events are mutually exclusive since they cannot occur at the same time. So the probability that A or B occurs, in other words, the probability that it lands on a yellow space or an odd number, is the probability that it lands on a yellow space plus the probability that it lands on an odd number, which is 1/9 plus 5/9, which is 6/9 or 2/3. So now we're going to consider non-mutually exclusive events. I want you to consider the same spinner, and now the question is, what is the probability of, or the possibility that it lands on a yellow space or an even number? So if we take a look at the number of events that are even, well, there's 4 events. And if we consider the number of events that are yellow, there's 1 event, and that's if it lands on the yellow 4. So if we take a look at this Venn diagram, so in the yellow, that's on the circle on the left-hand side, that would be the events that are yellow, and the one on the right-hand side would be the events that are even. And you'll notice that 4 is included in both of these events. So these events are said to be non-mutually exclusive, which means that they can occur at the same time. When events A and B are said to be non-mutually exclusive, the probability that A or B will occur is given by the addition rule for non-mutually exclusive events. And that's going to be the probability that A or B occurs is equal to the probability of A plus the probability of B, but then we have to subtract the probability that A and B both occur. So in this case, our probability that the spinner lands on an even number is 4/9. The probability that it lands on a yellow will be 1/9, and we have to subtract off the probability that it lands on the yellow and an even number, which is 1/9 as well. So then the probability of it landing on a yellow space or an even number is 4/9. So now we want to calculate the probability of rolling 2 dice and getting a total of 4 or a pair. So in this case, probability of rolling a 4 or doubles. So if we take a look at this chart, you can see that there's, in yellow, are all the ways you can roll doubles. So you can roll 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s, etc. And in the blue, there's the ways that you can roll a 4. So you can roll a 3 and a 1, a 2 and a 2, and a 1 and a 3. Now, you'll notice that there is one common square to both of these, and that's where you roll doubles, which is, 2 2s, which is also rolling a total of 4. So if we consider there are 3 events where you roll a 4, and there are 6 events where you roll doubles. So if we take a look at this Venn diagram, in yellow are the ways that you can roll a 4, and in the blue, it's the ways that you can roll doubles. And you'll notice that the 2 and the 2 is common. These events are said to be non-mutually exclusive, which means that they can occur at the same time. You can roll a 4 and doubles, which is the 2 and the 2. So the probability that we roll a 4 or the probability that we roll doubles is equal to the probability of rolling a 4, which is 3 out of 36, plus the probability of rolling doubles, which is 6 out of 36, minus the probability that we roll 2 2s. So this comes out to be 8 over 36, which is 2/9, or about 22%. So the owner of a fast food restaurant received 25 applications for the position of manager. Of the 25, 15 have worked there before, 8 have a high school diploma, and 5 have worked there before and have a high school diploma. What's the probability that a randomly selected applicant has worked there before or has a diploma? So this is a non-mutually exclusive event because someone can work there or and have a diploma at the same time. So the probability that they worked there before or a diploma is equal to the probability of having worked there before plus the probability of having a diploma minus the probability that they have worked there before and have a diploma. So 15 of the 25 have worked there before, plus 8 out of the 25 have a diploma, minus 5 of the 25 that have both worked there before and have a diploma. And so it comes out to be 18 over 25. That someone has worked there before or has a diploma. A number between 1 and 100 is chosen at random. Find the probability that the number is divisible by 5 or is a perfect square. So first you have to consider how many events are divisible by 5. And here's a list of the 20. So 5 through, counting up by 5s through to 100. There's 20 possible divisible by 5. And how many events are perfect squares? So there are 10 events, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, and 100. Now of these, 2 are common to both. So we have 25, which is divisible by 5, and a perfect square, as well as 100. So the probability that a randomly chosen number is divisible by 5 or a perfect square is equal to the probability that it is divisible by 5 plus the probability of a perfect square minus the probability that it is divisible by 5 and a perfect square. So this is 20 over 100 plus 10 over 100 minus 2 over 100, which works out to be 28 over 100 or 28%.